It's track reviews.
Hey everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And it is time for a track review of yet another song teaser to be released from one of the most highly anticipated albums of 2020, the upcoming Tame Impala record, The Slow Rush. Kevin Parker, he's given this whole thing away. It's the fourth song we're hearing from it. By the time this thing is out, we'll have heard damn near half the record. But hey, I'm not complaining. Now this latest taste that we're getting of this album comes in the form of the eighth track here, Lost in Yesterday. The shortest of all of the teasers so far, but not by too much. And I don't know. Let's just give this a shot. Hopefully it's not kind of too ethereal or bland in the way Borderline was. Hopefully we consistently get, the interesting or introspective lyrical themes that we got on It Might Be Time and Posthumous Forgiveness. So, Lost in Yesterday. Ba-bam! Okay, interesting cut there. Not lengthy and multi-phased in the same way that Posthumous Forgiveness was, but still really good. Direct, straightforward, groovy, super chunky-ass bass line on this track too. But before I get too much into the instrumental, let me say, thematically, lyrically, I don't know what it is with this record. I don't know if there's some kind of life event in Kevin Parker's life, or maybe it's just old age. I mean, the man's not old, but he's certainly not the spring chicken he was when Tame Impala burst onto the scene about a decade ago at this point. But the dude is really dwelling on a lot of existential thoughts on this particular track. We're pretty much getting this message in regards to dwelling on the past, dwelling on choices, I think, but not obsessing or preoccupying yourself with that too much, and instead embracing what life throws at you. There's actually an interesting point toward the end of the track where Kevin almost likens the unexpected events and the randomness of life and the obstacles that could be presented to you, the changes that could be presented to you, as being like the game Chutes and Ladders. All of a sudden, you land on a spot, you're going down that chute, you're in a totally different spot. It happens. We've all been there. And if it happens, embrace it. Essentially the message and the philosophy of the song here. So again, combined with It Might Be Time and Posthumous Forgiveness, a lot of commentary on just, again, Kevin's existence, living life in general, and I think trying to relay a lot of these thoughts that he's obviously knee-deep in at the moment to his audience through his music. It's interesting to see him in such a reflective point in his songwriting. Moving on from there, the instrumental, the heroes of the instrumental, in my opinion, were the super punchy, punctuated, groovy looped drums, or at least, they were kind of working in a very tight loop, and the chunky ass bass that was right up against them. If not for those, I would say the instrumental here was actually kind of bland. The super washed out keys and guitars, while they were pretty and they added a lot of color to this track, they didn't have quite as much definition as I would have liked. Certainly not as much definition as many of the guitars had on a record like Lonerism, though Tame Impala clearly are at a very different point stylistically than they were with that record. But still, I think these elements could use a bit less reverb, a little bit less reverb. I feel like the reverb sucked a bit of the intimacy out of the vocals too, which felt a little distant, but that didn't stop the vocal melody on this track from being as sharp and as direct and as quick as it was. 'Cause it might have been something you used to say, doesn't have to get stuck in yesterday. It's a hooky little chorus. It is a damn hooky little chorus. Some cute little change-ups in the back end instrumentally and aesthetically, there was one moment that I thought was the bridge, or it probably was, and then it extended into another instrumental shift in the outro where, yeah, of course, because the final refrain's kind of hidden there about embracing the change. So there was a pretty ethereal bridge shift in the instrumental. Then there was another change in the final moments of the song structure too. Pretty standard change-ups for a popular song, but still done and executed pretty well. Once more, I'll say the biggest disappointment was the slightly washed out mix, but I think Kevin really overcame that and made up for it with just how great the rhythm section on the track was. And I think we can just mark this as yet another reason to be excited for this forthcoming album. Maybe fans of the band's older psych rock influenced stuff, as well as fans of their more synthetic work off of Currents, won't be fully pleased by this because it sits in a weird transitional state where it's not quite one and it's not quite the other. But either way, I think Tame Impala are doing some good things on this track. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, Tame Impala, Lost in Yesterday, forever.